Bereshit, or Genesis 27 through 29. And it came to be when Yitzhak was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esaw his elder son and said to him, My son. And Esau answered him, Here I am. And he said, See, now I'm old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me, and make me a tasty dish such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. And Ribkah heard when Yitzhak spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt wild game and to bring it. And Ribkah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, See, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me wild game, and make me a tasty dish to eat, and bless you in the presence of Yahovah before my death. And now listen, son, listen to my voice according to what I command you. Please go to the flock, bring me 2 choice young goats, and I will make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it, so that he might bless you before his death. And Yaakov said to Ribkah his mother, See, Esau's my brother, he's a hairy man, and I'm a smooth-skinned man. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be like a deceiver in his eyes, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice, and go get them for me. And Yaakov went and fetched them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a tasty dish, such as his father loved. And Ribkah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Yaakov, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the tasty dish and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Yaakov. And he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? And Yaakov said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you said to me. Please rise, sit, and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me. But Yitzhak said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Yahovah, your Elohim, brought it to me. Then Yitzhak said to Yaakov, Please come near so that I feel you, my son, whether you truly are my son Esau or not. And Yaakov went near Yitzhak, his father. And his father felt him and said, The voice is the voice of Yaakov, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. And he blessed him. And Yaakov said, Are you truly my son Esau? And Yaakov said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought his father wine, and he drank. And his father Yitzhak said to him, Please come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And Yaakov smelled the smell of the garments and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which Yahovah has blessed. And Elohim give you the dew of the heavens, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those cursing you, and blessed be those blessing you." And it came to be, as soon as Yitzhak had finished blessing Yaakov, and Yaakov had hardly left the presence of Yitzhak his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. And he too made a tasty dish and brought it to his father and said to his father, "Let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me." And his father Yitzhak said to him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am your son, your firstborn Esau." Then Yitzhak trembled exceedingly and said, "Who was it then who hunted wild game and brought it to me? And I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, he is blessed." When Esau saw and heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, "Bless me too, O my father." And he said, "Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing." And Esau said, "Was his name then called Yaakov? For he has caught me by the heel 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he's taken my blessing." And he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" Then Yitzhak answered and said to Esau, "See, I've made him your master, and all his brothers I've given to him as servants. And I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son?" And Esau said to his father, "Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Yitzhak his father answered and said to him, "See, your dwelling is of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above, and by your sword you are to live and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck." And Esau hated Yaakov because of the blessing which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning for my father draw near. Then I'm going to kill my brother Yaakov." And the words of Esau, her older son, were reported to Rivkah. And she sent and called Yaakov, her younger son, and said to him, "See, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you, to kill you. And now, my son, listen to my voice and rise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him a few days until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you've done to him. And I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day?" And Rivkah said to Yitzhak, "I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Yaakov takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these, who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me?" Genesis 28. And Yitzhak called Yaakov and blessed him and commanded him and said, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojournings, which Elohim gave to Abraham. So Yitzhak sent Yaakov away, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Ribkah, the mother of Yaakov and Esau. And Esau saw that Yitzhak had blessed Yaakov and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a command, saying, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan," and that Yaakov had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Padan Aram. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzhak, and Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife, besides the wives he already had. And Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he came upon a place and stopped over for the night. The sun had set. He took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed and saw a ladder set up on the earth. Its top reached to the heavens. And he saw messengers of Elohim going up and coming down on it. And see, Yehovah stood above it and said, "I am Yehovah, Elohim of Abraham your father, and the Elohim of Yitzhak. The land on which you are lying, I give it to you and your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall break forth to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All the clans of the earth shall be blessed in you and in your seed. And see, I'm with you, and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land. For I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you." And Yaakov awoke from his sleep and said, "Truly, Yehovah is in this place, and I did not know it." And he was afraid and said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of the heavens." And Yaakov rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head and set it up as a standing column and poured oil on it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. However, the name of that city had been Luz previously. And Yaakov made a vow, saying, "Seeing Elohim is with me and has kept me in this way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on, when I return to my father's house in peace, and Yehovah has been my Elohim, then this stone, which I have set as a standing column, shall be Elohim's house. And of all that you give me, I shall certainly give a tenth to you." Genesis 29. And Yaakov lifted up his feet and came to the land of the sons of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. And there was a large stone on the well's mouth, and all the flocks would be gathered there, and they would roll the stone from the well's mouth, water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Yaakov said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." And he said to them, "Do you know Laban, son of Nahor?" And they said, "We know him." So he said, "Is he well?" And they said, "Well." And see, his daughter Rah-el is coming with the sheep. And he said, "See, it is still high day, not the time for the livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go feed them." But they said, "We're not allowed until all the flocks are gathered together, and they've rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rah-el came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to be when Yaakov saw Rah-el, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Yaakov went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Yaakov kissed Rah-el and lifted up his voice and wept. And when Yaakov told Rah-el that he was her father's relative and that he was Ribkah's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be when Laban heard the report about Yaakov, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then Yaakov told Laban all these matters. And Laban said to him, "You are indeed my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him for a new moon. And Laban said to Yaakov, "Because you're my relative, should you therefore serve me for naught? Let me know, what should your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rah-el. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rah-el was beautiful of form and beautiful of appearance. And Yaakov loved Rah-el, so he said, "Let me serve you 7 years for Rah-el, your younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Yaakov served 7 years for Rah-el, and they seemed but a few days because of the love he had for her. Then Yaakov said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are completed, and let me go into her." And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast, and it came to be in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Yaakov. Then Yaakov went into her, and Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a female servant. And in the morning it came to be that he saw it was Leah. And he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rah-el that I served you? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It is not done this way in our place to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, then we give you the other sister too, for the service which you shall serve with me another 7 years." And Yaakov did so and completed her wedding week. Then he gave his daughter Rah-el as a wife too. And Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rah-el as a female servant. And Yaakov also went into Rah-el, and he also loved Rah-el more than Leah. And he served with Laban still another 7 years. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, "For Yahovah has looked on my affliction, because now that I have a son, my husband's going to love me." And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Because Yahovah has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too." And she called his name Shimon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now, this time my husband is joined to me, because I've borne him 3 sons." So his name was called Lewi. And she conceived yet again and bore a son, and said, Now I praise Yehovah. So she called his name Yehuda, and she ceased bearing.